Well, ever since Digital Foundry has pretty much come out with leaked specs of the Xbox, I was about to say One S, but I'm sorry, Xbox Scorpio, the internet, or basically YouTube, is muddled with all of these stories.
And you wanted us all to be abuzz.
The one thing the internet is missing is Gundam's 2 cents on everything. Because let's face it, I am the showman of YouTube. No one else can just piece together or weave such a tapestry of filthy words like I do.
You suck.
The Xbox One Scorpio project specs have been released. In a recently leaked white paper on Xbox One Project Scorpio, several new details have been revealed about the upcoming console, including major design changes that make this console even more PC-like than the original Xbox, which I'd say is a good thing. Firstly, it comes that the Project Scorpio will lack ESM RAM, or ES RAM, sorry. I don't know why I said ESM. Maybe I was thinking ESRB. Well, anyway, it's going to lack ES RAM like the Xbox One, instead relying on a faster memory to provide Project Scorpio with memory performance that even bests the ES RAM. Developers will still need to optimize games to use ES RAM alongside the Xbox One's pool of DDR3 memory for the best performance, as Xbox will not be releasing any games that are Scorpio exclusives. And in a sense, this kind of shoots the whole thing in the foot to me. I mean, I guess they could make games more PC-like, which would be a good thing, because on the PC, depending on your specs, you could dial back settings and so on and so forth. But this seems like it's going to create extra work for developers, especially if they're coming out with a game where they still have to work with the ES RAM, then they have to do the Project Scorpio shindig and PC port. I mean, really, I would honestly think that exclusives would be a good idea for the Project Scorpio, but it doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, exclusives in the sense of, like, you know, they're games that can only run on the Project Scorpio or PC or whatever, because as we all know, Microsoft is really trying to reach out to the PC gaming area by putting Xbox One exclusives now on the PC. This does piss off hardcore console gamers, and I guess I could see the point. Pretty much the major selling point of consoles is the exclusives, and if there are no exclusives, what the fuck is the point of the console? But then again, on the other hand, we look at it like this. Let's say somebody can't afford a gaming PC, so they stick with the Xbox, you know, S or whatever. They still get the games. It's technically exclusive. It's not going to be on PlayStation, but, you know, they want the full-blown, it's on nothing else but this. I don't know. Me personally, I really don't care. I've kind of gotten tired of exclusives a long time ago. I mean, most exclusives aren't reason enough to buy a system to me anymore. Nintendo's a perfect example of this. ESRAM remains essential to achieving high performance on both the Xbox One, the Xbox One S. However, Project Scorpio and PC are not provided with ESRAM because developers are not allowed to ship a Project Scorpio only SKU optimized for ESRAM remains critical to performance on the Microsoft platforms, which basically means the games have to work on the Xbox One S. And let's be honest here, the Xbox One S isn't really that powerful. And if, let's say, they made a game specifically towards the Scorpio and PC and then tried to port it to the Xbox One S, it could go very poorly. I mean, let's see, what game can I use as an example of that? What game came out? I know Titanfall. Was Titanfall put on the Xbox 360? I think it was. Let's look that up. Xbox 360 Titan. Oh shit! It did come out on the Xbox 360. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that is a big fucking pill to port something like that to a lesser system. It can be done, but that's time consuming, resources. I'm pretty sure it costs more money to make it happen. And it's not like the Xbox One S is the 360, so I can't say that it's a crapshoot. Because I'm pretty sure most people will not be upgrading because they're calling this a premium system. So the price right there alone probably would be out of the market for a lot of people who want the system. I mean, I know how it is. I remember when I got the PlayStation 3 for $600 and some, and I'd never do that again for a console. Computer parts, yes. Console, no. Xbox has many reasons to move away from ESRAM, as while it can offer a lot of memory performance at low latency, it comes with some major drawbacks. Firstly, the Xbox One has a mere 32 megabytes of ESRAM, wow, which is a tiny pool of memory by modern standards. This is true. Like, that kind of took me by surprise. This requires developers to work hard to minimize their ESRAM use and only use it for tasks where its high performance and low latency are crucial. to game performance, creating a lot of work for developers. That's kind of sad. The second problem is due to how ESRAM is designed, as it is an on-die pool of storage which significantly increases the size of the Xbox One SoC. Below are images of PlayStation 4 and Xbox One S's SoCs, which are both similar in size but offer very different levels of performance. The Xbox One has a lot of die space to use ESRAM, whereas the PlayStation 4 uses the die space for additional GPU cores, which is why the PS4 is more powerful than the Xbox One when it comes to GPU compute. The PS4 gets around its memory bandwidth issues by using GDDR5 RAM instead of GDDR3. You really don't want to fuck with GDDR3 anymore, honest to God. I have a GPU with GDDR3. It's ancient. Consuming more power but providing a lot more bandwidth, though not as much as ESRAM. Not using ESRAM on Project Scorpio will greatly reduce the die size of Project Scorpio's SoC, making it cheaper to produce and much more likely to have good yields when they are manufactured. So that's a good thing right there. What they mean by good yield is essentially when in the manufacturing process, if something has bad yields in GPUs, let's say, let's say, you know, AMD's making an RX 480 and this one comes out a little shitty. They check it out, like, okay, okay, we could use this many CUDA cores. All right, okay. We'll make it a RX 470, and then it becomes a cheaper budgeted GPU. With Xbox One, if they have a low yield, I guess they just have to fucking bin the thing, because there isn't like an Xbox One Lite or something like that. Here is an Xbox that's even less powerful. You're gonna love it. It's also cheaper. Sign me up, Gordon! The Xbox One's ESRAM will need to be replaced by something that is equally fast in the Xbox Project Scorpio, which means that Microsoft will need to utilize something that is a lot faster than the Xbox One's old DDR3 memory in order to build a more powerful console. In fact, Project Scorpio's new memory architecture will need to be faster than the ESRAM to maintain Xbox One backwards compatibility, because if they don't, people will flip their fucking shit. The most likely candidates here for Project Scorpio is HBM2 or GDDR5X, offering a lot more pure performance than DDR3 and DDR5, though at this time HBM memory has never been used outside of the enthusiast-grade PC gaming GPUs, making GDDR5X more likely. I would be fucking shocked. This is all speculation right here from O3CD or O3GCD. You know what I'm talking about, this site. But anyway, this is some serious speculation. One, HBM2 there's limited quantities of HBM2. That's only going to be on the next AMD GPU. GDDR5X is the equivalent of HBM1 in terms of speed. But if they were to put this on the Xbox, that would be expensive as hell. It would be crazy expensive. It would really boost the price. I don't know how they could pull that off and make it cheaper. Now, some people sit there and go, well, they get it in bulk and they get it a lower than consumer grade price. Well, no shit. But still, a company's job is to minimize cost and maximize profit. I don't know how they'd pull this off without the Xbox One being super expensive. And on top of that, just looking at that sort of, the stock photo, like when I stare at it, I see a 6-pin connector that you'd see on a GPU or computer, whatever, and like what appears to be memory all around what's supposed to be the Xbox One's GPU at the center that has the 4K sign on it. Which now, the more you learn about the Xbox Scorpio, it's not really true native 4K. Some games might be, but not all. They're going to do something very similar to the dynamic scaling of PlayStation 4, except call it something fucking else. But anyway, looking at these things around the GPU here, it looks like memory to me. So I'm wondering how much it could be there. We could be looking at anything from 8 to 16 gigabytes. I'm like probably being way speculative. That's a huge number, but there's a lot there. Anyway, let's move on to the important stuff. Alternatively, Microsoft could stick with proven technology and use GDDR5 memory, though they would need to use a larger memory controller and more GDDR5 memory chips than the original Xbox One. This could be an upgrade of 12 GDDR5 memory over the previous console's 8 of DDR3. So 12, I'm gonna guess 16. You know, that's gonna be a sweet spot. It also has been confirmed that the Project Scorpio will have a GPU that is 4.5 times more powerful than the original Xbox One, which should make the console stable for running a lot of games at 4K, especially when combined with Delta color compression and the GPU architecture improvements from AMD. Just like the PS4 Pro, it seems that Microsoft has been able to take features from AMD's GPU roadmap to create their own custom GPU for Project Scorpio, which means that the new console will likely have some features from AMD's upcoming Vega GPUs, which would be a boon, definitely. On the CPU side, not much is known right now, though it has been stated that their CPU will have 4 times as much L2 cache as the Xbox One, although sadly we do not know if the new console will be using a new CPU architecture in the SoC design. Some say that the Project Scorpio will have Zen CPU cores, although at this time we cannot say for sure. Digital Foundry actually put their 2 cents in, and they're saying, judging by looking at the white papers and all this other stuff, that it would probably still use the same Jaguar CPU, just overclocked to all hell. And to that, I'm like, if Project Scorpio does that, that would be such a waste, because of that CPU, I do not think they could do 4K 60. That's just out of the fucking ballpark. Like, you'll probably be getting 4K upscaled 30 FPS, much like the PS4 Pro. And few first-party games would actually be native 4K without some sort of dynamic rendering BS. So in the end, it's not really going to be true 4K, which with that price point, you know, if it's super expensive, like $500, they're like, really, I don't know why anybody wouldn't just go to a PC at that point. If Project Scorpio were to release with 8 Zen CPU cores, it would surely have an astronomical price tag, as that would be on the same performance level as AMD's upcoming flagship consumer CPU, which are not exactly suitable to console gaming. It is likely that Project Scorpio will be using an updated version of AMD's Jaguar CPU cores with some key tweaks that come requested by Microsoft. We've already seen the speculation of it most likely being the same CPU. They'd have to update the shit out of that Jaguar CPU. They really would. And I quote, because they don't mark whose quote this is, but alright. There are other clues as to Scorpio's final hardware setup within the white papers. The 6 teraflops GPU is once again confirmed, with the GPU's compute power rated at around 4.5 times the capabilities of the Xbox One. 4 times more L2 cache is also confirmed, a new detail that does not tell us much, except that the GPU architecture in Scorpio is at least a modern AMD Polaris line. That's good. I already knew that was going to be the case. Maybe I should be like a fucking tech analysis or something to make money off of just doing wild predictions. I foresee in the future another Grand Theft Auto game will come out and feminists will be very upset with it. The man's a fucking prophet. I foresee Nvidia releasing another very expensive GPU in 2018. Oh my god, will the miracles never cease? I predict that AMD will put out a very reasonable price CPU, but it will fall short of people's expectations. He's a modern day Nostradamus. Based on our discussions with Mark Cerny on the PS Pro, we can reasonably assume that Microsoft can customize its GPU cores just as Sony did, with the access to Radeon roadmap feature up to and perhaps beyond AMD's upcoming Vega architecture. Microsoft gives away little here, other than it confirms that Delta color compression, DCC, is part of the Scorpio's GPU feature set, just as it is in PS4 Pro. Alright, we already know Microsoft's Project Scorpio is going to release in late 2017, holiday season. That's Scorpio season. I mean, that's a Microsoft in gaming season. Most likely, and I have heard rumors that some people were speculating they didn't know if Microsoft was going to show anything off about the Scorpio before E3. And I'm going to go on a limb and say that this was what they're going to show off. They probably leaked this to avoid having to release anything about Scorpio before E3 this year. Here comes my douchebag cat to open the door and shake his little bell. Shake it some more, please. Ow, my face. Fuck my life. Yeah, I can actually give more of a fuck than me. You want to rate, comment, subscribe, you feel free. You don't, to hell with it. Now, if you need me, I'm going to look into becoming a tech analyst and make wild, awesome predictions. I predict a professional gamer will be caught hacking. This man is Jesus.